What's up YouTube, Shawn DaGamer here, and this is going to be a discussion video on indie wrestling. I don't really know how to title this video, so it's going to be something along the lines of the effects of indie wrestling on the mainstream side of things. And I don't know what the name of the video, but I do know I just want to talk about the effects that indie wrestling is starting to have on the main roster. And this has been going on for a while now, a few years. But I think with the access to watch indie wrestling getting a lot more accessible with like apps like the Fight Network, WCPW coming to its own, and Ring of Honor being able to be more, como se dice, available, along with PWG, Progress, New Japan, and the rumor that the WWE Network might even start airing some of that content on the network. What kind of effect will it have on mainstream or for mainstream viewers? I love indie wrestling because it's just a different alternative to what we get in WWE TNA, if you still watch TNA. But when it comes to WWE, we are all used to a certain style. I guess a finisher can win a match, or a finisher should be the only way to win a match unless something devastating or unique happens where a finisher doesn't need to necessarily win a match. But in indie wrestling right now, there's like a couple of months ago, like over the summer during, what was it? Will Ospreay versus Ricochet match in New Japan in the Super Juniors tournament. Everybody was up in arms about all the quote-unquote flippy-ish. Yeah, I'm trying to watch my vocabulary. Over all the flippy-ish, and does stuff like that take away from the actual story and suspension of disbelief in wrestling? Like, let's take, okay, like I just said, you had the Will Ospreay versus Ricochet match, and they did it again in Bola. This is the whole reason I'm making this video, because I just watched the Bola tournament, Battle of Los Angeles from PWG. I just got done watching that, and it just got me to thinking like, this is fun. This is really, really fun. But when you have people kicking out of moves like flipping, it's just so much cool stuff that they do, like styles clashes off aprons, and you have Canadian destroyers everywhere. And you remember when a lot of people first saw Petey Williams do the Canadian destroyer down in TNA? It was amazing. And now things like the super kick, the Young Bucks, aka Generation Me, they're kings of super kicks now, which is cool because that's their gimmick. But you remember back in the day, Sweet Chin Music will lay your ass out. And you know, Dolph Ziggler is trying to bring that back. And then the DDT is another example of that. And even the stunner. Now, everybody's using stunners, and certain moves are, I don't want to say they're losing value, but they're becoming relegated to like, to rest spot moves. And if you know what a rest spot move is, like, super kicks are becoming a new headlock. Let's put it like that. When you get certain rest, you know, if you don't know what a rest spot is, so say like both competitors go down and they're there for a couple of minutes, they're just catching their breath, probably trying to, if they don't like really pre-match plan, they're probably like laying on top of each other, like whispering in each other's ears the next sequence of events, of moves and things like that. Now take that without, and all that, like people just constantly kicking out on the indie scene, and let's take a match like Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, when he hit the double haluva kick to finally put away Kevin Owens. Imagine if Kevin Owens would have kicked out that second haluva kick. It'd be like, what the hell? What the hell? It would have been like a moment, but Or imagine if Shawn Michaels would have kicked out that final tombstone that put him away. Or Ric Flair. What if Ric Flair would have kicked out of the he would have kicked out of Sweet Chin Music after after he said, "I'm sorry, I love you." Whap. 1, 2. Oh no, Flair kicks out. And then they have to go an extra 5 minutes. You kind of bring down the value of not only the match, but the significance of the finishing move. And like I said, I'm not hating. I love all the flippy-ish. I get hyped when I see like Will Ospreay do like a 920 or whatever it's called. You know, all the rotations in the air. Or when I see Ricochet and them just tear it up. And then you got, on the opposite side of things, somebody I've been doing my research on is Matt Riddle. You know, the former UFC guy. I like his style. And another thing I want to say, I think, is it just me, or is NXT the perfect middle ground for, you know, what were the traditional style of matches and this new independent style of things? And I think a better example of like NXT is like a show, but the CWC, the Cruiserweight Classic, was, I believe, the perfect example of blending this new generation of talent. You saw people like TJ Perkins, Kota Ibushi, Zack Sabre Jr. But more like, let's go to like the TJ Perkins. Who else was in there? That's a real high flyer. Grand Metalics, your Cedric Alexanders and things like that. They were still able to showcase their moves, but in a more what's the, I don't want to say believable, but in a more story driven way. So like Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander. Imagine, I know I keep saying this, but imagine if Cedric Alexander would have kicked out that final Golden Star Powerbomb that finally put Cedric Alexander away after Cedric did everything he could to try to put Kota away, and he kicked out, and they had to go an extra 2-3 minutes for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like the CWC is the perfect blend of showing off this new group of talent and what they can do, and just slowing them down to tell a story. Like I said, I've watched both of the Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. No, Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. Wait, no, that's right. The Will Ospreay versus Ricochet match. I don't know why I was thinking. Isn't it Ricochet's Prince Puma, right? Ricochet's Prince Puma. So I was thinking Prince. Oh, anyways, back on topic. I think that like in this point, the CWC was the perfect middle ground between indie stuff and what we're used to in like a traditional sense. Like I said, 100 times over, I love independent wrestling because it's different, and that's one reason I love it. But at the same time, a lot of people get upset when you take who's there now that has been completely watered down. Say like a Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan never got to 100% show off his moveset in the WWE because they were like, hey, we need you to slow down and things like that. And when he tried to do that, for some reason, it just wasn't in the stars, and we all know what happened to Daniel Bryan. And then we got other people, like the whole Cruiserweight division, when it was on Raw, it just didn't seem special anymore because we got people like Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Neville on Raw doing the same stuff. So when you try to, oh yeah, we got these cruiserweights now who are in their own rights amazing, but when you put them in the same environment as like those people I named, like a Seth Rollins, a Neville, who are already on the main scene doing the same thing, essentially, it kind of devalues the cruiserweights. And that's why when you get matches like on the CWC and now on 205 Live, you're getting longer matches. And since they're delegated to just themselves, it's more effective. So I don't want. Just my idea. That's just my thing. Like, imagine a Will Ospreay in the WWE. He's not going to be able to do half the things that he wants to do because, just first of all, he's crazy, and second of all, they don't. It's sometimes the substance doing things all the time can get you bored of it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just hard to, like I said, because I keep wanting to say I'm not bashing indie wrestling. It's just a lot of people want the Young Bucks in the WWE, but the Young Bucks just won't fit in the WWE because of their personality and their style. They're anti-gimmick. Their whole gimmick is like the fourth wall breakers, and they wouldn't fit well, at least on the main roster. Maybe in NXT, and they will probably sell huge numbers in NXT. I'm not even a probably, but will it translate well to the main roster? And that's what a lot of people have problems with. That's why a lot of people like are scared when certain people who finally get to the WWE, they go to NXT and they get success because they can still do what they want to do because Triple H understands that. But then when you get up to the main roster where you have, you know, Mr. Kevin Dunn and Mr. Vince McMahon up there, and they don't really understand how to book these guys. And that's why SmackDown, even over the past couple of weeks, is still the better show at the moment. Because when you have Daniel Bryan and the head writers, the former head writers of NXT who understand how to work with these guys, is a better show. That's why things like they were able to revitalize a Dolph Ziggler and bring a Alexa Bliss to the forefront and know how to work with the AJ Styles. Because Daniel Bryan has been there and the guys in NXT has already had to work with this type of talent before. So, I don't know. It's just an idea. What do you guys think about that? This is why it's a discussion. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm crazy about that? Or, I don't know. It's just one of them things where I adore it. I adore it. Like I just got done watching Ebola, and I love it. It was fun. Like, Will Ospreay versus John Hennigan, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo. That was a great match. But it was kind of an example of how Ricochet would have to slow down to compete in the WWE. And I think that's why that was one of my favorite matches in Bola. John Morrison, who has, you know, been in the WWE, he knows how to work that safer, quote unquote, style and make somebody slow down and tell a story. And I believe that's what he probably told Ricochet, who I believe is coming to the WWE sooner than later. So, yeah, just be on the lookout for a Ricochet. We all know what a Ricochet can do. But let's see how they handle him once he's under the WWE's umbrella. I'm going to end it there. I think that's a good example right there. With all that being said, leave your comments in the comment section below, duh. Follow all of thy links, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch in the description. Share this video out with your friends. Subscribe if you have not already, and liking always shows your support. And if you want to go the extra mile, make sure you hit the little bell button to always stay notified when new videos and content go live, so you don't miss anything, because YouTube is tripping balls. And again, with all that being spoken, I am Shawn DaGamer, and I am out of here.